Hey, hey, mi gente. Bienvenidos to episode 12 of This Latina Travels. It's a new season, and I'm so excited to be back. In case you missed it, I released a quick episode last week with TLT updates and what to expect for season 2, so make sure to check it out. With that being said, let me tell you how I was able to make one of my dream trips a reality. I swear, ever since I was a little girl, I had dreams I would be in a pyramid one day. I kid you not. Then, when I learned about Egyptian culture and history in school, it sparked something inside me. And then, when the Mummy movie came out, it was game over. I knew that one day I was going to visit Egypt, and it would be a trip I would never forget. So yes, in this episode, I'm taking you to Egypt. Let me tell you, mi gente, Egypt is exactly that. Unforgettable. I mean, think about it. Just the idea of seeing a pyramid firsthand with your own eyes and then being able to go inside and use the same stairs to go to the burial chamber where a pharaoh was once buried. Wild, right? But before I get too ahead of myself, let me backtrack. Although Egypt was a dream of mine, I knew that I didn't want to travel solo here. As you all know, I have been all over the world, and traveling solo is not new to me. I actually encourage solo traveling, whether you're single, in a partnership, married, etc. Solo traveling heals your soul and allows you to grow in a way that is absolutely beautiful. But I knew I wanted to go to Egypt with at least one person, someone who would match my energy, someone who would be on the same page when it comes to our finances/spending, someone who would be down to take all my pictures and videos for my amazing content, and someone who would be a guy. Hear me out. I know myself best. I wanted to enjoy Egypt and not put myself in any situation that would make me feel uncomfortable. Have many solo female travelers travel to Egypt? Yes. Have many group trips of just women travel to Egypt? Yes again. I knew that traveling with a guy friend would make my trip to Egypt the best for me, as it allowed me to feel more comfortable. You know yourself best. That's my biggest piece of advice with anywhere you travel to. So yes, I asked my good friend Jose, aka my Boricua primo, to come along the journey. And a journey it was. Gracias, Jose, for being such a dope travel friend. I love you like a brother that I never had. So we visited 5 cities in Egypt in 12 days. Yep, you heard right. Those cities were Cairo, Luxor, Aswan, Abu Simbel, and Hurghada. And not to mention, we stayed one night in Madrid, Spain on our way back home, so we had a jam-packed schedule. I want to share with you 3 key secrets that made this trip so smooth. 1, our tour guides. 2, going on an Nile cruise. 3, planning our outfits in advance. Write these down as I briefly go into detail why they are so important. Number 1. Hiring a tour guide hands down made this trip one to remember. I want to give a huge shout out to our tour guide Amal. Not only is she the kindest soul ever, but she is so smart and reliable, mi gente. I recommend hiring Amal in a heartbeat. I will link her Instagram in my show notes, and feel free to DM me and I will happily pass along her WhatsApp number. Before arriving in Egypt, she recommended everything I wanted to cross off my list. During our time in Cairo, she arranged all our private transportation, taught us so much history while we visited the museums, and she took us to all the best spots for authentic Egyptian food, and even went with us to the famous market, Khan el Khalili, and I apologize in advance if I pronounced it wrong. I definitely recommend having a tour guide with you here, not only because of the language barrier, but the market is huge, and you can easily get lost. But most importantly, having someone who is local avoids being overcharged for souvenirs. We're so thankful for Amal. Gracias, amiga, for everything. I can't wait to visit you again. Huge shout out to Danny and Lori from Latino with Passports who recommended Amal. Community, mi gente. Now, the second thing is booking a Now cruise. We booked our Now cruise through the app Viter. Not only is a Now cruise undeniably one of the best ways to see the ruins of ancient Egypt outside of Cairo, but you use it as a travel method between the cities of Aswan, Abu Simbel, and Luxor. By the way, Amal can help set this up. We didn't know this till after. For 4 days, 3 nights, the cruise takes you to the heart of Egypt with daily excursions to major landmarks. So yes, your days are jam-packed, and I won't sugarcoat it. All the days, you are starting mad early. We're talking like 4 or 5 a.m. In addition, we selected the private option, which to be honest, we didn't know what the difference was. But basically, you have a private tour guide and private transportation throughout the cruise. The actual cruise itself is pretty. It reminded me a little of a mini Titanic. Don't worry, nothing happened like Titanic. What I was most impressed with was the food and the attention of the staff. They made the whole Now cruise an experience to remember. Check out my reel on my social media platform. And 3, planning your outfits in advance. I can't stress this enough. I did a lot of research when it came to outfits for Egypt. I even sent Amal pictures in advance. Thank you again, amiga. I wanted to be respectful and avoid any unwanted attention. Let's be honest, I'm a curvy Latina with a booty and big boobies. So my outfits from Puerto Rico would not be appropriate for Egypt. But best believe I was still gonna look fly. So here's some tips when choosing your outfits for Egypt. Primero que todo, cover up your girls. My rule of thumb was nothing low cut. I did this by purchasing cute maxi dresses that were not only long but flowy and could be easily packed. Also, all my maxi dresses and tops were shoulder length or long sleeve. I personally wouldn't recommend anything with a spaghetti strap, but if you do, make sure to have a shawl to cover up or a light sweater. My Teva sandals were also an amazing investment. I wore these every day. Not only did they go with all my cute dresses, but they were so comfy. If you have a DSW nearby your house, use a coupon and get a better deal than Amazon. But they are worth the investment. Okay, now that I have given you some tips on how to make your trip smooth in Egypt, let me share some of my favorite must-dos. 1. No questions asked, take a hot air balloon ride in Luxor over the Valley of the Kings and Queens. This was phenomenal. Imagine, you're in a hot air balloon flying over some of the most ancient Egyptian landmarks. That's King Tut's grave down there. It was something else. And not for nothing, probably the cheapest air balloon ride ever. Putting it into perspective, I paid probably close to $200 to $250 per person for an air balloon ride when I lived in New Mexico, and that was off season. But in Luxor, we paid $70 each, and that included private pickup and drop off to our hotel. I know for sure that there are cheaper rates if you're staying in a hostel or decide to do a group pickup. I know this because I made friends with some of the people in the hot air balloon, and they paid close to $50 each. Another must in Egypt is to visit the Pyramid of Djoser, which is also known as Step Pyramid. And no, this is not located with the famous Giza pyramids. Let me tell you why the Step Pyramid caught my attention. 1, it is the oldest and first pyramid structure that was ever built, so it holds a significant historical turning point in ancient Egyptian architecture and royal burials. I made a whole reel about this pyramid, so in case you missed it, go check it out. But the inside of this pyramid was something else. I would recommend walking inside this pyramid over the Giza pyramids any day.
What?
Y 3, you all know that I'm a foodie. And something that I must do when I travel is try a typical dish of wherever I am visiting. Not only did I try koshari at the best spot in Cairo, thank you again, Amal, But I also learned how to make it with an Egyptian family through an Airbnb excursion that I booked in Luxor. So what is kashari? Well, it's a vegetarian dish first off, and let me tell you, I did not mind this. The seasoning of this dish alone is so good that you don't even notice it doesn't have meat. The national dish consists of a mix of pasta, tomato sauce, lentils, rice, onions, and chickpeas. Drool, just thinking about this. So make sure to add kashari to your list of foods that you must try in your lifetime. So good. Whew, that was a lot. And when I tell you I could go on and on about this trip, I really can. I mean, not for nothing, I'm still posting content about it. Egypt was just that magical, but it does require planning. So with that being said, I am super hyped to announce that I have poured my soul into my full Egypt itinerary titled Explore 5 Cities of Wonders in 12 Days. This itinerary is available for purchase via my website and breaks down all the details of my Egypt trip. For example, how we were able to find an $800 round-trip ticket from Puerto Rico, how we got around in Egypt, all our in-house flights, our private transportation, direct links to the Nile cruise, and more, as well as all our direct links to our excursions such as the hot air balloon ride, the cooking class, the ATV riding in the desert, and more. My motto in life is all about saving time. I know this can be found in Google, but I guarantee you it takes hours or even days to find everything that I plan to make this dream a reality. And I don't know about you, but I'm all about saving my time and supporting a local Latina business too. So if you know anyone who might be visiting Egypt and needs guidance, send them over to thislatinatravels.com and hit my shop section. And if you like what you've heard, let me know and I'll definitely do a part 2 of Egypt. Well, with that, I leave you. Until next time, mi gente. If you're listening via Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to leave me a 5-star rating, and most importantly, write me a review. For each episode, I'll be reading my favorite review from you, the listeners. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with a friend or two. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions via email at thislatinatravels@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at thislatinatravels. I hope you're ready for this journey because I sure can't wait to tell you more about why this Latina travels.